the most insufferable time of the year, when flower-crowned influencers and TikTok Nepo babies storm the desert to blow daddy's cash on overrated DJs, good vibes, and wildly overpriced hot dogs. Welcome to Coachella. It's the same crowd who screams about taxing the rich through their iPhone screens and then turns around and spends $150 on a mediocre meal at this unaffordable music festival. If you don't believe us, let's put some of these prices in perspective. Compared to this year's Masters golf tournament, a much different crowd there, more dignified, might we add.
All right, let's start with general admission. Coachella asked for a cool $649 for a weekend entry ticket. On the flip side, the Masters, biggest tournament in all of golf, will cost you $450 for a week-long pass. Now, for the food at Coachella, you're going to be forced to shell out $12 for a soda. That's a Coca-Cola for 12 bucks. That tastes like regret. At the Masters, $2. Coachella is so expensive, even the trust fund kids are angry. One festival goer fuming over it being a money trap after she bought 2 orders of tacos, nachos, and 2 non-alcoholic lemonades, priced at 17 bucks a pop, for a grand total of $102. And the food, it was evidently cold. That's what we call a ripoff.
And a pimento cheese sandwich at the Masters only cost you $1.50.
Yeah, well, it's a communist nightmare, which makes it the perfect setting for none other than, Senator Bernie Sanders to make a surprise appearance this weekend, naturally.
This country faces some very difficult challenges. And the future of what happens to America is dependent upon your generation. We need you to stand up to fight for justice.
That was just a pit stop on Bernie's oligarchy tour. He then made his way over to deep red Utah to spread some more Donald Trump hate. Joining us now to react, Fox News contributor, the fabulous Liz Peek. He can't see, hear, smell, or taste the idiocy and the irony of him being in front of all of these rich kids who went to Coachella. But he's there with all the other socialist posers, the performers, because they're the biggest capitalists you ever met.
So I guess you're not going to Coachella? Is that the takeaway from this scene? Okay. So I had to share this with you. There's a meme on Twitter, X, showing Bernie Sanders talking about the coming threat of the oligarchy taking over our nation. 1993, 1994, 1995, 2007, 2012, 2014, 15, 17, and 18. Exactly the same language, exactly the same message. It is the most ridiculous thing. The billionaire takeover of America is upon us. It's been upon us for decades, apparently. That is his shtick, excuse the expression, and he's sticking with it.
Yeah,
that's his message.
That's his song and dance.
Yeah.
But what's got to be scary for the Democrats is he does attract large crowds.
Oh, yeah.
Between him and AOC. But what they preach is socialism. What they're preaching is so far to the left. It's really got to scare the more mainstream Democrats along the way.
Well, that's why they didn't let him become the candidate in 2016, right? Or in 2020. Remember, every time he goes out and he wins, and by the way, he won the Democrat primary in Utah, just by the way. He wins the primaries, but the Democrat establishment will not have it. AOC is a bigger problem now for the Democrats because there really is an urge for a demographic shift, a generational shift in the leadership. There is no leadership in the party right now. It's quite possible that an AOC can come along and kind of muscle her way into serious contention. That, I think, is a serious threat to Democrats because Bernie is Bernie. He's been authentic. People like the fact that he's never changed his tune, as I just demonstrated. But she is someone, I think, that really is going to scare this group, including Chuck Schumer, who she may or may not primary.
But this unstoppable urge of his to, like, have young people like genuflect in front of him, it's creepy. It really, it borders on the creep.
Yeah, the good news is they grow out of it, Dagan. You know, they genuinely
do
now, and then they grow out of it. Thank goodness.
An old man is like, we're the young
That's
kids.
right. Exactly.
Very old. With $9 billion on the line earlier today, Harvard flat out rejected President Trump's demands to fix its anti-Semitic coddling campus, instead choosing to stand by its DEI policies. Harvard's president writing, quote, "The administration's prescription goes beyond the power of the federal government. It violates Harvard's First Amendment rights and exceeds the statutory limits of the government's authority under Title VI." So they're standing with anti-Semitism, and they're standing. They essentially violated the Civil Rights Act in 1964 as well.
There is no excuse for Harvard not protecting Jewish students, not allowing Jewish students to go to class and feeling like they are part of this community and that they're not beloved by this community. On the other hand, the demands made by the Trump administration to Harvard, there is no question that Harvard could not have gone along with it. Trump, whoever wrote this, was basically demanding that they have all kinds of investigations into balance in their various faculties, et cetera. The faculty would not stand for this, and that's why Harvard basically pushed back. I don't know how they're going to resolve this. They do have billions at stake in terms of long-term contracts. They also have $256 million that's part of this year's budget, apparently, coming from the federal government. I think this is a real problem. And by the way, Harvard, there's no excuse for what they've been doing. Or, by the way, a lot of colleges where there's no balance at all in the faculty, in the teaching, in the approach. They're proud of that. I mean, this is the group that hired Bill de Blasio, Lori Lightfoot. I mean, let's think of the people that they've hired to, join their faculties. Holy crow, what a group. But I don't really know where they go from here. This is sort of a mess.
Yeah, I can't get past the $9 billion that taxpayers are putting into Harvard. I just can't get back there. And when you have an endowment that is worth billions and billions of dollars.
$55 billion.
Yeah, $55 billion. Why you need more taxpayer money, I just can't get past that. And if you're civil rights, oh, no, we don't pay attention to those, except the ones we want to, which is so fundamentally right. Liz Peek, thank you for joining us on the Bottom Line.
We're funding the hate cult indoctrination camp called Harvard and Columbia and you name it.